Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Estimators Ready to Scale Your Business. My name is Lou Irene. I'm with The Edge. I am joined by James Mack with McCormick. We're both regional sales managers. You can see our contact information hopefully on the screen. You can take screenshots of that. Also, where you logged into the call, you're going to have a couple of handouts available for you to click on, as well as an area for you to ask your questions. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about scaling your business, business growth, and some growing pains as well. I'm going to talk about a couple of things to consider when making changes to scale your business, some things maybe to move away from in order to scale, and also things to implement in your business. Right, so let's get started. All right, so my name is Lou. I'm with the Estimating Edge. Estimating Edge is software for creating your bids, creating that contract dollar amount. And essentially the software works like this. As you do your takeoff, it creates that contract dollar amount. It's creating material lists. It's gonna calculate your productions. It's gonna bring in material pricing, multiply everything across, bring in markups to add on to those totals, and get you that contract dollar amount. That's essentially what the Estimating Edge is all about. What we're going to talk about today is how to scale your business and conversations we've had with customers and prospects, things that they're struggling with. And the main area to start off with is probably our number one competitor in the industry. It's spreadsheets. Spreadsheets is typically where everyone gets started. You typically can get Excel pretty inexpensively, right? It's cheap or free in some cases, and simple, very easy to use. The issue with it is not scalable. We've seen these spreadsheets kind of grow in size, grow in complexity, and eventually you have one person that understands everything inside of that spreadsheet. So some of the problems that you end up with, different material prices, maybe even different names of material on separate spreadsheets, or you're trying to make copies of spreadsheets when you have multiple estimators. Then you got maybe pricing in several locations. Then the same with doing your labor production calculations. A lot of this is, ultimately estimator opinion, but a lot of times when you have separate spreadsheets or multiple spreadsheets, this creates a little bit of an issue with keeping all of your estimates being built out the same way. So one of the solutions for this type of setup and this type of scenario is a centralized database. So here at The Edge, what we do is work with our customers on creating that centralized database. We also are able to provide that database accessible to them from the cloud. So everything is stored in the cloud, makes jobs more accessible, and makes a centralized database accessible from multiple locations. So what that's doing is it's keeping all of the material names the same, all the prices for the material. It's one price instead of having multiple locations for everything. So that is one of the ways that getting multiple spreadsheets kind of centralized is able to help out. Now, this allows multiple estimators to be in one job at the same time as well. So now what you're able to do is also have maybe one estimator working on one aspect of the bid, and another estimator can be working on another aspect, a separate aspect of the bid, which helps get that bid out the door more quickly. This setup also allows for the bid to be reviewed easier. Um, so so that's kind of what you're looking at, is being able to move from spreadsheets, or consider moving from spreadsheets into more of a software setup where you're able to access the data and have multiple estimators inside of the program. And then also be able to standardize that estimation process. As you standardize that estimation process, what you're doing is you're also standardizing how you create reports. You're standardizing communication with the field. And as these things are all done one specific way, you're kind of creating more uniformity. So obviously the key is everyone estimates the same way. So it's easy to kind of plug in new estimators into the system. And when you lose an estimator or an estimator leaves, you haven't completely lost the person who is in charge of that particular spreadsheet. Okay, so there's a few things. What I'm doing is I'm basically just kind of going through the list here on your screen. So little by little, I'm going to make my way to the bottom. The next thing I'm going to talk about here is tracking from the field. So in our program, what we're doing is doing the estimation process, making that information available for you in the cloud, and then from the field, you can access that data in the cloud. So you can track against an estimate while in the field. Now, of course, most people are doing some kind of tracking, particularly for billing. I mean, everyone is doing some kind of tracking to see where are we in the project, when to submit the next bill, invoicing, that sort of thing. And so I'm not trying to be Captain Obvious here, but once you have that data stored in the cloud and you're able to access it against the estimate, where you're doing calculations against the estimate, which is also a service that we provide, you can now track against an actual production rate. So what does that mean? Example here. Let's say I'm just going to pick a trade randomly, like maybe you're a painter, and your production rate in this example as a painter is calculated by a lineal foot. And we'll say your lineal foot of wall per hour. And in this example that I'm just kind of creating now, let's say it's 125 lineal feet per hour that you used as your production calculation. Once you're able to track against that data, you can now see how many lineal feet per hour you've actually accomplished. So that can help you determine, in reality, are you at 123 or are you at 127? Are you a little bit ahead or are you a little bit behind? And if you can see this at an hourly basis, you're going to know pretty quickly into the project whether right now, today, you're ahead or you're behind. And that is also very helpful information when scaling your business. Next, keeping with the field communication theme, our customers have reports that are being created as they're doing the takeoff. That's what the Edge estimation software does. And they're available for them in the cloud. So what customers are able to do from the field is grab those reports from the cloud. So they don't have to go back to the office, print something out. It's easily accessible. If you're doing any sort of changes, you can quickly communicate change orders back to the field as well. Okay, so next, also in this light of scalability and estimation growing pains, I highly encourage you to pay attention to all of your different softwares and see what that level of communication is in between them, and see if you can increase the communication between them. As an example, can your estimating process or can your estimating software push budgets into your accounting platform? Can it communicate with your CRM? These are other ideas of things that are helping our customers now with scalability, because it's helping that data flow through the business. It's helping them see certain cycle times being decreased along the way. So less time keying in by hand to set up the budget, things like that. So hopefully those are a couple of different ideas there to kind of show you different opportunities that you might have for being able to scale your business. All right. I think now, James, do you need me to switch the...
Yeah, can you switch us to the next?
There we go.
Good
Okay.
deal. Can you hear me all right, Lou?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly
awesome.
fine.
Awesome, Lou. Thanks for the intro. Again, my name is James Mack with McCormick Systems. I've been here about 10 years. I've kind of been in the construction industry my entire life, construction management. And yeah, we just wanted to kind of share some of our thoughts here today about how estimating software can help grow your business, can help scale your business. So McCormick's been around for 43 years. We are part of the foundation family, and there's our connection to edge estimating. In case that wasn't obvious here, but in order to grow, you've got to have systems in place, right? We can't just be winging it every time we put a bid together. So, oftentimes I talk with owners who wear a lot of hats, and maybe they're also the estimator, and in some cases as well. Time really becomes a critical factor for everybody, and that's where software can really help. Additionally, if you're employing an estimator, that's important too. As an employer, we want to make sure our employees are doing their job as efficiently and as quickly, I guess, and accurately as important as they possibly can. So again, that's where software sort of comes into play. So how can estimating software help? So the obvious things are database, right? We're going to give you a consistent set of data with consistent labor units, which really are where jobs are won and lost, right? Same goes with profits. That's often tied to labor. So you've got numbers, consistent numbers you're working from, which can be manipulated on a job-to-job basis, so that they're set in a sense, not, at the same time, not rigid, right? We have things in place that can help you account for different scopes or levels of difficulty, et cetera. So, and these are things you're not just pulling out of thin air, right? Where if I'm working off of a lift 40 feet in the air, there's a specified amount of time that we're going to add in that situation, and we can do that on a consistent basis, and we can have record of that in our estimate. So that kind of leads me to the next part of this, is when we use the system. You've got historical data to access. You have a trail you can follow. When I go back to review this estimate I put together, how did I come up with these numbers? If I'm working off the notepad or the spreadsheet, that's going to be much more difficult to determine, as I go back through and review, where those things came from, whether I'm reviewing at the pre-bid process or, as Lou was talking about, kind of tracking things or going back and doing an audit or evaluating, how things went or are going. A system, an estimating system, is going to give you that data to work from. So a lot of the points that Lou touched on are completely relevant with McCormick, and I'll just try to hit on some different areas. But time savings is going to be the big thing. That consistency in the data you're pulling from is going to, of course, be another. We want to streamline that process. And we're going to need that consistency in order to do that. We're going to need that consistency in order to perfect the process. How do we make adjustments as we evolve in our estimating to kind of dial ourselves in the further we go. If we're getting feedback on our estimates on our bids that we've submitted, we want to be able to make accurate adjustments in the program. Again, pulling from the 8.5 by 11 notepad, it's going to be a little bit harder to do things like that. So this is definitely going to set you up in the long term to help you be more accurate with this stuff. So reporting is going to be huge. What kind of reporting can you do from your Excel file? And as Lou mentioned on this too, I've seen some pretty crazy ones, some pretty impressive Excel spreadsheets that people have put together. But as he said, it's usually one or two people that know how to navigate that thing, and companies tend to want to get away from those because of that. It just doesn't give them that across the board comfort or familiarity with the system. No one really understands what's going on except for maybe a couple people in the company. So we're going to give you accurate reporting that makes sense to everyone in a program. And we are, of course, tied to pricing services, as many estimating software products are, and that's going to give you real-time pricing in the program, can connect you directly with suppliers. So again, it's all about speeding things up. Just a quick mention of design. I don't know if any of you do design build. We have a great program that can not only lay the job out for you or enable you to lay it out, but it will estimate for you as you're laying that out. So we're eliminating steps. I've designed the job, and now my estimate has been put together as I've designed it. And then a lot of us are doing some conceptual estimating. Maybe we get asked to, hey, I'm putting together an 8,000 square foot TI. I need a budget number on that. No one wants to spend a day putting a budget number together on a job that may or may not happen, right? We do want to try to accommodate our clients when these things come up. Is there a way we can do that without shooting ourselves in the foot? One of those methods is estimating by square feet. We can use a light, a medium, a heavy density per square foot price that will give you enable you to give budget numbers to people in literally a couple of minutes. So sure, I'll give you a budget on that 8,000 square foot TI. I'll get back to you within an hour, and you could actually provide them with a material list as well. So yes, here's my number, all right, and okay, now they have a budget in mind, but you're also telling them with that number, this is what would be included. So again, just things that can help really speed the process up for you. All about saving time and being consistent and being accurate. So one last thing I want to mention, just like Estimating Edge, McCormick is going to be in the cloud. So if you have multiple people potentially collaborating on projects or just multiple people in the system, you can access from anywhere. You can collaborate. Everything is automatically networked. So if this is a case where we want a couple of people in the same job at the same time, to trying to knock out an estimate very, very quickly, you know, we've kind of ganged up on this and we needed to get it out in a much faster manner maybe than normal, you know, you certainly can do that. You could see each other's takeoff going into the program real time, even if you wanted to. So point is, it's interconnected. Everyone, you know, can have quick access to everything, and you can collaborate on projects. So great benefit from, you know, being on the cloud. So really, you know, there's other things we talk about. I think Lou really touched on core things that are also applicable to McCormick in many ways, and hopefully I added a little bit of you know, a couple things for you to think about. You know, and I'm sure Lou will close us out here as we get to the end, but you know, we're talking about our systems that we have, our products. We would love to, you know, have the opportunity to run you through these, give you a comprehensive look of how these work, how these can help. So, you know, if you do want to run in through a more comprehensive demo, maybe spend a half hour, 45 minutes or more in the system, get a real feel for it, we're happy to do that for you. All right, Lou, anything else you wanted to add in here?
No, I mean, really just hoping that that is providing some food for thought on scaling the business. Like you were kind of saying on this slide now here on the bottom left side, if you'd like to see a little bit more, we have a demo video. You could do a screenshot to take a little bit more of a look at the edge. But if you want to go through with someone and ask questions along the way, then yeah, reach out to us at sales@foundationsoft.com.
Awesome, thanks, Lou. And if before we go, if anyone has any questions, there is a chat. Probably should have mentioned this before, but there is a chat section in the controls. It's okay, and you know, just if you want anything addressed now, I'd be happy to do that. But again, our information is here as well. Feel free to reach out. Lou, was our email on that first slide that we had? Just if you want to put that up there again.
It was, and then we also have.
Oh, you had the email right there. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
As well.
Yep.
Handouts are also available.
All right, very good.
There we go. The email addresses.
Awesome. Well, I think we're good. I don't see any questions or comments here. We appreciate everyone taking the time to listen to us today. And again, definitely follow up if we can help you moving forward.